On the eve of our wedding, Angelo's goddess posted a photo of a massive diamond ring online. I glanced at the picture and froze. It was our wedding ring, the only one in the world. My best friend had personally designed it just for me. And now, it was sitting on her finger. I thought about it the entire night. And the next day, I calmly brought up breaking up. Angelo's expression did not change in the slightest as he said flatly, "Rita, we're getting married soon. Think it through carefully. Don't regret it later." I replied, I won't regret it. Later, a drunken Angelo called me. "Rita, where are you? Why aren't you home yet?" Chapter 1. When I brought up breaking up, Angelo rarely showed a moment of surprise. He sat beside the desk, took off his glasses, and rubbed the space between his brows. "Breaking up? The wedding is only a month away. The invitations have already been sent out. And you're saying this now?" I didn't respond. Instead, I took out the asset settlement list I had prepared beforehand, unfolded it, and pushed it in front of him. "Yeah, we're breaking up. I don't want anything from you. I just want us to separate." When I was 23, I got engaged to 28-year-old Angelo, and soon after, I moved out to live with him. I had thought our marriage was already set in stone. So during the 3 years we lived together, I accepted all the jewelry and designer bags he gave me, as well as the money and shares he transferred to me. Now that we were separating, it was time to settle everything clearly. Angelo skimmed through the list quickly, his expression unchanged as he tossed it aside. "Reason?" After a pause, he added, "Because Elise wore your ring?" "I'm sorry, I didn't know it was the wedding ring. I've already asked my assistant to retrieve it. It'll be returned to you soon." His face remained calm, but I could no longer suppress my anger. The wedding ring was something my best friend had spent half a year making for me by hand. It carried her dedication and my longing for love. After it was finished, I kept it safely at home. I treasured it so much that I could barely bring myself to wear it. Yet while I was away, Angelo had suddenly given the ring to Elise. God knew how devastated I was when I saw it on Elise's hand, and now he casually claimed he didn't know. Could one sentence of "I didn't know" erase every mistake? I exploded in anger. "That's enough. This time it's the wedding ring. What about next time? Next time are you going to hand over the position of your wife too? If that's the case, then maybe I should be sensible and leave first to make room for her." Hearing this, he lifted his eyes and looked at me with dissatisfaction, as if he couldn't understand why I was reacting so strongly. He spoke in a lecturing tone. "Rita, if this is just jealousy, then there's no need for it. No one can shake your position. You should understand that in a marriage between us, benefits matter more than love. I'll let this go this time. Don't bring up breaking up again in the future. Just obediently be your wealthy housewife." He took out a bank card and pushed it toward me. "There's $3 million in it. Consider it compensation." Chapter 2. I stared coldly at the bank card, momentarily lost in thought. Angelo was the type of man who handled everything like business. Even marriage, to him, was built on profit above all else. Back when we had just started dating, he treated me politely yet distantly. But after we became more familiar, he began correcting me here and there, molding me into the image of a wealthy socialite wife. What he forgot was that a rich man's wife only needed elegance. But as Angelo's future wife, I loved him. That was why I could never be as cold and detached as he was. Nor could I accept a third person appearing in our marriage, especially when Elise was the woman Angelo had desperately wanted but could never have during his youth. A tear splashed onto the back of my hand, snapping me back to reality. I wiped my eyes, pushed the card back toward him, and smiled faintly. "No need. Mr. Angelo, we're not suitable for each other after all. It's better if we separate." No one had ever rejected Angelo again and again like this. He was the most outstanding young talent in the financial world, admired by countless people, arrogant by nature. So when I brought up breaking up for the second time, Angelo did not hesitate. "Fine, don't regret it later. Once I give something away, I never take it back. Angelo, am not lacking that little bit of money." I picked up the settlement list again and casually took the bank card with me as well. "Okay, I won't regret it. I hired a moving company. It might get a little noisy later. Sorry for disturbing you." Angelo's expression remained indifferent as he lit a cigarette. "It's fine." After saying that, I turned and left, calling the movers inside. Take away every single women's item in this house. Amid the noise and commotion, I entered the bedroom and carefully packed all my jewelry from the drawers into the safe before instructing them seriously. Please be careful. There are fragile items inside the cabinet. 3 hours later, the villa suddenly felt empty. I turned back for one final glance at the place I had lived in for 3 years, only to notice Angelo leaning silently against the doorway. Eyes lowered, his expression unreadable. I had no intention of saying goodbye to him again, but just as I was about to leave, Elise arrived. Chapter 03. With teary eyes. She walked over and grabbed my hand, speaking in that pretentious coquette tone of hers. I'm sorry, I didn't know this ring meant so much to you. I just thought it was beautiful. So I asked Angelo to give it to me. At the time, I thought you had so many rings already. Unlike me, I have nothing. I thought you wouldn't care. I'll return it to you right now. As she spoke, she reached to remove the ring from her finger, but after struggling for a long time, she failed to take it off, only rubbing her finger red in the process. I almost laughed from anger. This wasn't an apology at all. It was obviously a provocation. If she were truly remorseful, why would she deliberately wear my wedding ring into my home so openly? This little act was clearly just to attract someone's attention. And sure enough, the next second, Angelo strode over quickly. He grabbed Elisa's hand, his face full of concern. If it won't come off, then forget it. Since you like it, keep it, Rita. I'll pay $5 million for it. Hearing that, Elise looked at Angelo with sparkling tears in her eyes, filled with tenderness. I stood behind them, watching their affectionate little scene unfold. My eyes turned red from anger. I'm not selling it. It was a gift from Serafina. Take it off right now. Angelo frowned in dissatisfaction. Elise wrapped herself around his arm and said understandingly, Angelo, this belonged to Miss Rita in the first place. I should return it. Then she went into the bedroom, wet her hands with body wash, and finally managed to remove the ring before handing it back to me. I reached out to take it, but the moment I saw the ring clearly, rage exploded inside me. You resized the ring? She shrank back slightly behind Angelo. It was too loose when I wore it, so I adjusted it a little. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll immediately find a designer to restore it for you. I could no longer suppress my fury and slapped her across the face. A closed ring band was changed into an open band. How could it ever be restored to its original state? Elise, you disgust me. Rita! Angelo roared angrily. He stepped in front of Elise protectively, shielding her behind him. Don't go too far. I was the one who gave her the ring. Why are you blaming her instead of me? I looked at him coldly and slapped him as well. Angelo's face instantly darkened. You think I don't hate you too? You and Elise disgust me equally. Get out! Don't ever appear in front of me again. With that, I dragged my suitcase away without another glance, completely ignoring the ugly expressions on both of their faces. Chapter 4. After moving into my new home, Serafina came over to help me unpack. The moment I saw her, I could no longer hold back my grievance and burst into tears in her arms. I am sorry, the ring you made for me was worn by that bitch, sob, while cursing angrily under her breath. She patted my back to comfort me. All right. It's okay. It's just a ring. I can always make you another one. Only after a long while did I gradually stop crying. The bedroom was a mess, so I wiped away my tears and began tidying up. The safe was a mess too, all the jewelry crashing into one another. At a glance, I noticed that Angelo's engagement gift to me had shattered. It was a translucent lotus pink agate bracelet, bright and crystal clear. Now, it had broken cleanly into 2 halves. Just like our fractured relationship, Angelo and I had been brought together entirely by his grandmother. My mother was an old friend of hers despite their age gap. When I was little, my mother often took me to visit Grandma. The moment Grandma saw me, she was extremely pleased. She would cheerfully joke about making me her future granddaughter-in-law and ask Angelo to play with me. My mother told me to spend more time with Angelo and make him happy, but Angelo was always polite and distant. Most of the time, we simply sat quietly in the living room, each doing our own thing. Truthfully, when I was young, I really liked that handsome yet cold older boy. I thought he would always stay that indifferent until he met Elise at 17. The two of them fell passionately in love. It was hard to imagine that someone like Angelo, a perfectly groomed heir from a wealthy family, would actually fight people and skip school for her, to force him to break up with her. Angelo's father even planned to send him overseas, but he only said firmly, "Elise is the light of my life. Other than her, I want no one else." But Elise came from a poor background. Her mother had been the mistress of a wealthy man in their social circle, and Elise herself was an illegitimate daughter. There was no way Angelo's family would allow a woman like that to enter their household. So Angelo's grandmother used her own methods. She gave Elise 30 million and sent her abroad to study, on the condition that she leave Angelo. Elise agreed. She took the money and disappeared overseas, and Angelo began to resent his grandmother. He wasted away for half a year. Then, just before the college entrance exams, he suddenly changed and began working desperately hard. But after that, he was never as close to his family again. At 28, for reasons unknown, he suddenly agreed to try getting to know me, and just like that, we naturally started dating, got engaged, and moved in together. Now, he was successful and powerful, managing the family corporation himself. His former lover had returned from abroad, so naturally Angelo would rekindle their romance. Tears slid down one after another. I gently brushed my fingers over the bracelet before tossing it into the trash can. If you hesitate when it's time to cut ties, the chaos will only consume you further. It was better to end everything cleanly and decisively. Chapter 5. Serafina and I bought plane tickets and flew to Semporna for a vacation. The scenery there was incredibly healing, and the underwater world was breathtakingly beautiful. One day, while we were resting in the hotel, my phone suddenly received a friend request notification. I had a feeling it was Elise. Sure enough, the next second, she sent me a photo of a ring, her tone full of smugness. "Miss Rita, Angelo cares about me a lot too. At the same time, Serafina suddenly let out a scream and lunged toward me with her phone. "Ah, Rita, come look at this shameless bitch." I focused my eyes on the screen. Elise had posted a new update. Her eyes were red, and on her ring finger was a massive sparkling diamond ring. The caption read, "I knew you would never let me suffer." During her years abroad, she had become an influencer. The fans in her comments section were completely losing their minds shipping the romance, all wildly guessing who the man was. And when Serafina discovered that Elise was deliberately provoking me, she immediately started cursing her out. "How does a homewrecker still have the nerve to show off like this? Your mother was a mistress and you love being one too? What? Does your family pass down being a side chick genetically? No wonder the saying goes like mother, like daughter. Even your nose looks crooked now. You should hurry up and get it fixed before it's too late." I took her phone and tapped into Elisa's profile. It was filled with traces of their romance. The earliest post dated back to 4 months ago, May 20th. Angelo had been at an amusement park with her, watching fireworks together. My heart suddenly felt like it had been stabbed. On that day, Angelo and I were supposed to celebrate together too, but I had gotten sick, burning with a high fever and unable to get out of bed. After hearing that I was ill, Angelo had only said indifferently, "Then cancel the restaurant reservation. Get some rest." I had felt deeply disappointed and wanted to say a few more words, but he hung up the phone. Afterward, he never even sent a single message to ask how I was doing. I had thought he was busy with work. I never expected that he had actually been accompanying Elise to watch fireworks. In truth, the problems in my relationship with Angelo had appeared long ago. At the beginning of this year, when Elise first returned to the country, I had already noticed how absent-minded he had become. Because of that, I fought with Angelo many times, but every single time, he would cut off contact unilaterally, then later buy me luxury bags and jewelry to placate me. Under this constant cycle of emotional push and pull, I suffered and hesitated for more than half a year. I turned off my phone and let out a long breath. The turbulent emotions inside me gradually calmed down. No matter what Angelo did anymore, it had nothing to do with me. Chapter 06. After traveling for a week, my mother learned that I intended to break up with Angelo and called me. She talked to me for a very, very long time, constantly persuading me not to throw a tantrum, constantly telling me how powerful and influential Angelo was, constantly reminding me that men like Angelo naturally had several women around them and that I needed to be more tolerant. Holding on to the position of a wealthy wife was what mattered most. I cried so hard I could barely speak and said tearfully, "But Mom, I've liked Angelo for 12 years. I can't accept another woman beside him. I'm in so much pain." The moment I said that, silence fell over the other end of the line. After a long while, Angelo's voice sounded, "What's between Elise and me isn't what you think. Come back, and I can explain everything to you." He paused, as if compromising. "There's only you by my side." In the end, I still returned home, not because of Angelo's words, but because Grandma wanted to see me. She had always treated me very well, and I couldn't bear to disappoint her. When I arrived at the old mansion, Angelo was sitting on the sofa watching financial news. At the dining table, Grandma lovingly took my hand. "Did Angelo make you angry again? Tell Grandma about it. Grandma will beat him up for you." Hearing that, I glanced at Angelo. His expression was calm as ever as he elegantly cut into his steak. He still hadn't told Grandma that we had already broken up. After hesitating for a moment, I finally spoke. "Grandma, we've already broken up." A sharp screeching sound rang out as a scratch was carved across Angelo's plate. He turned to look at me seriously. "You're serious? If you break up with me, what happens to your parents' company?" Chapter 7. Grandma was stunned. "Rita, what happened? Why do you insist on separating?" I clenched my palms tightly and smiled as I comforted her. "It's nothing, Grandma. We're just not suitable for each other. Thank you for how well Brother Angelo has taken care of our family all these years. As for the future, there's no need for you to worry anymore. Grandma, I just got back home, so I'll head home first. I'll come visit you again later." After returning home, my mother angrily hurled a teacup at my feet. "What exactly is wrong with you? Haven't I taught you already that whether he has other women around him doesn't matter? You're the official wife. Stop being so petty and jealous." I pressed my lips together and said nothing in explanation. My family owned a small company. We weren't extremely wealthy, but we lived comfortably enough. Since I was young, Mom had always dressed me beautifully. She sent me to learn calligraphy, dance, and illustration, doing everything she could to groom me into a socialite. And her goal had always been to help me marry into a wealthy family and climb the social ladder. Seeing me standing there silently with my head lowered, she scolded me in frustration. You've completely ruined my dream of becoming a rich lady. All those years I spent building connections in those wealthy social circles were wasted." She was furious, her chest heaving violently as she leaned back against the sofa. I carefully walked over and gently massaged her temples. "Mom, I don't want to keep living while swallowing my grievances anymore." She remained silent for a long time before finally sighing. "Angelo is already the cleanest man in that circle." Looking at her expression, my heart ached too. Although Mom was obsessed with climbing into high society, she truly treated me well. I was her only daughter, and she had poured all her energy and hopes into me. "Mom, I'll work hard in the future and make sure you live the life of a wealthy lady too." I coaxed her softly, and she was finally amused by my words. You can't even tolerate a little grievance. How could you possibly endure real hardship?" I didn't tell her that. During my time by Angelo's side, I had actually learned a lot as well. The next day, I joined my family's company to learn the business. A month later, I registered a small company of my own and became my own boss. My family's company specialized in traditional women's clothing. As for me, I planned to create trendy light luxury women's fashion. Chapter 8. When I was with Angelo, I often went shopping in luxury malls. Indirectly, that experience sharpened my eye for fashion and refined my sense of style. In the second month after my company was founded, one of our autumn coats suddenly became a massive hit during a live stream sale. My business welcomed its first major success, but problems quickly followed. The factory manufacturers couldn't produce enough clothing to keep up with the orders. Without inventory, we couldn't ship products. If delays continued, customers would definitely become dissatisfied or even request refunds. And once that happened, the reputation our brand had just built would immediately collapse again. I called the factory to ask about the issue, but the other party hesitated awkwardly before hinting that perhaps I had offended someone recently. Offended someone? Who could it possibly be? I racked my brain for answers until, After returning home and lying in bed, I scrolled across one of Elise's posts. She was wearing a coat almost identical to the one from our live stream, with a shopping link attached below it. My anger instantly exploded. I immediately called Angelo and told him to control Elise properly. After listening to my explanation, he spoke calmly. What Elise does has nothing to do with me, but I can help you solve this problem, as long as you come back. Rita. I laughed out of sheer anger and cursed him out directly. Go to hell. Even after hanging up, my anger still wouldn't settle, so I dragged Elise out and cursed her too. Then Angelo called again. I hung up, but he kept calling back. I was getting irritated. What do you want? Hearing my harsh tone, he paused briefly. I'm downstairs at your place. Let's talk. Rita. I got up and went downstairs. The moment he saw me, he straightened up and extinguished the cigarette in his hand. Impatiently, I asked, talk about what? He looked exhausted as he rubbed between his brows. Rita, Elise and I, that's all in the past now. There's no possibility between us anymore. I hope you stop overthinking things. It's seriously affecting our relationship. I looked at him coldly. Relationship? What relationship do we even have? The relationship where I was burning with a fever while you accompanied Elise to watch fireworks? Or the relationship where you gave our wedding ring to Elise? At that, Angelo silently lit another cigarette. You know, she was the person I loved most in the past. I was only saying goodbye to my former feelings. Can't people even reminisce about the past anymore? The ring incident was my mistake. I'm sorry. I apologize to you. Come back. Rita, I'm not used to life without you. For once, Angelo lowered his head, his eyes cast downward. During the time Rita had been gone, the villa had felt unbearably empty. Every time he returned home, he could no longer see Rita's gentle smile or hear her thoughtful greetings. Back when they were together, he had never paid attention to those things. But after Rita left, he became afraid of that house, to the point that he no longer wanted to return to the place that no longer had Rita in it. Only a place with Rita could truly be called home. Chapter 9. I only felt annoyed. Angelo had always been decisive and ruthless in everything he did. Yet when it came to relationships, he was unbearably indecisive. At that moment, loneliness surrounded him completely, as though he were truly heartbroken. I thought perhaps he really did realize his mistake now. But so what? I had shown him photos of the ring before. The ring had been kept inside the bedroom drawer, yet he still brought Elise into our home, and he watched helplessly as Elise put on the wedding ring that belonged to me. At some moment, he must have remembered the beauty of their past together, which was why he allowed Elise to ask for the ring. Or perhaps Angelo had been the one to offer it to her voluntarily, using the ring to fulfill the regret he had carried since his youth. No matter which possibility it was, I could never accept it. And both possibilities proved one thing: Angelo and Elise were still emotionally entangled. So what exactly did that make me? Weren't you and her already a thing of the past? Then what exactly are you reminiscing about now? Angelo, you're arrogant and conceited. You believed Elise could never abandon you, but you never expected her to take the money and leave. That's why, after all these years, you both hate and love her. At 28, you thought you had let her go and got engaged to me, but once she appeared again, your eyes still followed her everywhere. You were already engaged to me, yet you still allowed her to get close to you. Now that the two of you are reunited, then what am I supposed to be? Sadness filled my face. Angelo visibly panicked and reached out to pull me into his arms. His explanation sounded pale and powerless. No. I never once thought about separating from you. Whether it was true or not no longer mattered. I forcefully pushed him away. Control Elise. Don't let her flaunt herself in front of me again, or I won't be able to stop myself from hitting her. And don't show up in front of me anymore either. Angelo's eyes reddened, confusion filling them completely. Rita, you've changed. You used to love me so much. I stared directly at him. I haven't changed. I just don't like you anymore. Angelo's whole body stiffened, and he left in a dazed, devastated state. The next day, news about young Master Angelo publicly announcing his relationship shot to the trending searches. Elise posted another update and even sent me photos of them holding hands together, deliberately trying to disgust me. When I ignored her, She came directly to my company instead. Well, if it isn't Rita, long time no see. I changed locations and sat down across from her. What do you want with me? She smiled arrogantly, slowly setting down her designer bag before ordering 2 cups of coffee. I heard you recently started your own business. Angelo gave me some money, and I've been rather bored lately. So how about this? Why don't you sell your company to me so I can play around with it? My blood pressure instantly shot through the roof. That was the company I had worked so hard to build, and she wanted to buy it just to play around? If there's nothing else, I'm leaving. Just as I stood up, she grabbed my sleeve, acting spoiled. Aw, don't go yet. Actually, I just wanted to ask how you took care of Angelo. He seems completely unable to forget you. When I refused to answer, she stood up and shamelessly leaned closer to me. Did you sleep with him? How did it feel? I already got him into bed back in high school. Back then, I spent a lot of effort teaching him. You know, you really got lucky benefiting from my hard work. Ah, have you said enough? I couldn't listen anymore. I grabbed the coffee and splashed it directly onto her. You disgusting slut. Coffee splattered all over Elise, yet she curled her lips into a provocative smile, mouthing the words silently. She said, "You're done for." Rita, what are you doing? Angelo. The next second, Angelo strode in from outside. He immediately pulled Elise into his arms protectively while glaring at me with vigilance and anger. Rita, haven't we already broken up peacefully? Why are you still causing trouble for Elise? I couldn't even be bothered dealing with them and turned to leave. But unexpectedly, Angelo grabbed my arm and yanked me back. His jaw tightened visibly. Apologize to Elise. I stared at him in disbelief. Why should I apologize? She was the one acting shameless first. Rita! Angelo roared again, his patience clearly reaching its limit. I said apologize. No one here is going to indulge your temper. At that moment, Elise gently stroked his chest twice and spoke softly in a delicate voice. It's okay. Little sister was just angry for a moment when she splashed me. I'm sure she already knows she was wrong. I'm fine. My reddened eyes locked onto Angelo's. He refused to back down, staring at me stubbornly. Finally, I shouted loudly, I'm sorry. Then I violently shook off Angelo's hand. Happy now? Elise said she already slept with you back in high school. She even said your skills sucked and she had to personally train you. Just now, she asked me whether you could satisfy me or not. Of course you can't. Your skills aren't even as good as the male escorts at a club. After venting my anger, I hurriedly ran toward the exit, but when I reached the doorway, I suddenly turned back around again. Apologize my ass. I'll never apologize to a cheating bastard and a shameless mistress in this lifetime. You two are a perfect match, so stay locked together forever. Then I turned and ran off immediately, leaving their voices far behind me. Chapter 10. After returning to the company, I reviewed the files I had organized once again. Inside were records of all the history between Elise and Angelo, with particular focus on the fact that Elise knowingly became a homewrecker. Originally, I had planned to use the files to threaten Elise into behaving herself, but now, after thinking for a moment, I closed the laptop. If people don't provoke me, I won't provoke them, but if Elise kept causing trouble, I would definitely make her pay the price. After handling that matter, I continued dealing with the coat issue. In the end, Angelo still did not allow Elise to make things difficult for me. The factory shipped the goods on time, and to prevent future accidents, I stocked up on a large amount of inventory all at once. Later, I began contacting my father's factory, hoping he could help open another production line dedicated solely to supplying my company. Using my own family's factory felt much more reliable. After that, Serafina introduced me to 2 dependable fashion designers. They worked part-time, accepted low base pay, but earned commission percentages instead. The designers worked extremely hard, producing 7 or 8 new designs for me within a single month. From suppliers to livestream sales, I gradually built a complete business chain of my own. When Mom heard I planned to open a factory, she started carrying her Hermes crocodile leather bag around the factory every day, supervising the work on my behalf. I trusted her greatly because, back during Dad's early entrepreneurial days, Mom had helped him tremendously. Before we even finished handling matters on the side, Trouble exploded online. Elise bought several pieces of my clothing and filmed a complaint review video. Especially my best-selling autumn coat. She criticized it so harshly that she practically tore it apart. Guys, look at this! The streamer claimed this coat doesn't attract fur. But look, I just hugged my cat once. And now it's covered in fur. And the fit is totally wrong too. It's way too oversized and loose. Anyone who didn't know better would think I'm pregnant. If someone with a figure as amazing as mine can't make it look good, then the rest of you definitely won't look good in it either. Don't buy it! And these dresses too, oh my god. The quality is terrible. The stitching already came loose before I even wore them. Look at these threads. At the end of the video, she even shouted aggressively, "Eve wrong! Give me an explanation. You're pretending to be a light luxury brand while scamming consumers. One outfit costs $699. Yet the quality is this awful. Give us justice. Refund our money." I watched the entire video coldly. The comment section was filled with insults, and a massive crowd flooded into the live stream room almost instantly. Their words were filthy, and the attacks were obviously targeted. The sales host was cursed until her eyes turned red, choking back sobs while continuing to present the products. I waved my hand and told her to step down and rest. At the same time, the back-end system rapidly filled with refund requests. After thinking briefly, I picked up my laptop and sat directly in front of the camera. If she wanted to make things big, then I would make them even bigger. Hello everyone. I'm the founder of the Eve Wrong brand. I do not agree with the review made by the blogger known as Elise is Hungry. I believe this is slander. First, let me explain the relationship between us. Some time ago, she publicly announced her relationship with the outstanding financial elite Mr. Angelo, causing a huge sensation online. But what most people don't know is that Angelo was originally my fiancé. We were engaged for 3 years, and just before our wedding, Elise knowingly became a homewrecker, stole my fiancé, and even took away my wedding ring. Chapter 11. The moment those words came out, the comment section exploded with question marks. Wait, what? This gossip is insane. Keep talking. Streamer, don't stop. I knew there had to be more to this story. Elise has always acted rich, wearing outfits worth tens of thousands. Why would she suddenly buy such cheap clothes? As public opinion shifted, I carefully explained the entire conflict between us from beginning to end. Our operations manager was quick-witted. Right after I finished speaking, she immediately edited together a short clip. Shocking scandal. Million-follower influencer exposed as a mistress? The internet never lacked gossip-loving spectators. In an instant, the video's views shot past 10,000. An hour later, it had only 40,000 likes, but the share count had already reached 156,000. The operations manager stared at the numbers in disbelief. This is heaven-sent traffic. Heaven-sent traffic. Rita, we're blowing up. Rita, we gained 30,000 followers already. Where's Mia? Has Mia recovered emotionally yet? Hurry, 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 start the live stream and sell products. We'll call it the official wife's wardrobe and specialize in slapping mistresses in the face. That single shout from the operations manager instantly fired up the entire team. Mia enthusiastically started selling products in front of the camera again, while the hype crew became especially energetic. All right, everyone. Look over here. This is our best-selling autumn coat, the same one the mistress used to slander our boss. First, ladies, look at this fit. Ladies, is this outfit pretty or not? Pretty. Are mistresses disgusting or not? Disgusting. Then are we buying this outfit or not? Buying it! Mia spun around to show the back of the coat while continuing dramatically. Ladies, our store is basically Pinru's wardrobe, okay? With this coat, you'll never lose your way while fighting off mistresses. Pinru guarantees your marriage happiness and success. This time, I'm taking back everything that belongs to me. I watched the order numbers continuously rising in the back-end system, yet the PPT in my hands still wasn't released. The operations manager had already said it. Even bad publicity was still publicity. This PPT contained solid evidence and reasoning. Once published, it would definitely stir up a storm online. It was better to save it and build hype for tomorrow's livestream. We didn't end the broadcast until every last bit of inventory had been sold out. The moment the live stream ended, I immediately contacted the suppliers again. This time, they didn't drag things out and instantly accepted my orders. The internet was in complete chaos. Elise hired a huge number of paid trolls to spam comments everywhere. But unfortunately for her, none of it caused much impact. Instead, her own comment section became flooded with criticism. People had zero tolerance for mistresses. In just one night, Elise lost 50,000 followers. At 4:15 in the morning, Elise was still online. I couldn't help laughing in Schadenfreude. Tonight, she was probably so furious that she couldn't sleep at all. Chapter 12. I slept wonderfully that night. After waking up the next day, I posted the PPT on social media, tagged Elise, and also tagged our live stream account. An hour later, the live stream started. Once again, I witnessed overwhelming traffic pouring in. That evening, I received a phone call that surprised me a little. "Hello, Rita." Angelo's voice sounded exhausted. "I just found out about everything. I'm sorry for the trouble this caused you. I'll handle Elisa's situation." I didn't care much and replied calmly, Honestly, it hadn't caused me much trouble at all. If anything, it brought me plenty of orders. To be frank, I didn't mind her continuing to stir up drama for a little longer. In this era, traffic was king. With the cheating mistress scandal combined with Angelo's reputation, this wave of attention would probably keep my popularity going for at least another half-month. "You started a company? Congratulations. I wish your business success." I glanced strangely at my phone. Angelo was clearly forcing conversation at this point. If there's nothing else, I'll hang up now. I also wish you and Elise happiness." Angelo let out a faint laugh filled with unclear meaning. "Rita, she and I are impossible." I couldn't care less. I hung up and immediately called the supplier again. Just after ending the call, my mother phoned me. She sounded overjoyed. "Oh, Rita, Mom found you a business partner. She's the daughter of the Liu family. Selena, when you were little, Mom brought you to play with her before. Do you remember?" I made some time and met Selena in person. She wore a beige suit, her chestnut-colored hair falling in elegant curls, her makeup refined and polished. The moment she saw me, she extended her hand. "Hello, my name is Selena." "Hello." She gestured for me to sit down. "Aunt Lee couldn't stop praising you. She said you're obedient, sensible, hardworking, and capable of succeeding at anything you do. Naturally, she also mentioned your business. And coincidentally, I saw some things online too. Eve Rome focuses on trendy light luxury women's fashion, which means you must be in great need of fabric suppliers. I happen to own a factory." I considered it for a moment. "Can the quality be guaranteed?" "Of course." She raised an eyebrow slightly. "I guarantee it won't be worse than the outside suppliers, and I'll even give you a discounted price." Hearing that, I smiled and raised my glass. Then, happy cooperation. Happy cooperation. At that moment, I no longer had any worries holding me back. As long as I could maintain sales, I would definitely make money from here onward. When I returned to the company, the operations manager told me excitedly, "Hey, Rita, look, Elise apologized to us. She even announced she's quitting the internet, and she already deleted that million-follower account of hers." Chapter 13. I was somewhat surprised by this outcome. Angelo was someone who always kept his word. If he said he would handle something, then he would definitely stop the rumors completely. But I never expected him to actually make Elise delete her account. After all, aside from Angelo, Elise's only source of income had been working as an influencer and taking advertisement deals. It seemed he didn't care about her as much as I thought. The person he had once obsessed over so deeply had ultimately become nothing more than this. For the following period of time, I stayed extremely busy. By the time I finally had a chance to breathe, winter had already arrived. Serafina invited me out for hot pot. After taking off my down jacket, I sat down casually, picked up a slice of meat, swished it through the broth, and took a bite before sighing in satisfaction. "Damn, this is amazing, Serafina. You have no idea how busy I've been lately. I barely have time to take a few bites of food before rushing back to work again. This is so good. Seriously so good." She curled her lips. "How was I supposed to know you were that busy?" Then she leaned in gossipily. "Hey, Did you hear about what happened to Elise at the banquet yesterday? I took a sip of cola. Angelo attended the banquet and only brought his assistant with him instead of Elise. Elise got furious after finding out and rushed over there. Then she slapped that girl right across the face and called her a seductress. I couldn't help laughing. And then? Someone as prideful as Angelo must have been furious. Serafina nodded enthusiastically. Exactly. Angelo's face darkened on the spot, and he publicly scolded her right there. I heard they're currently breaking up, and Angelo even kicked her out of the house. High society involved endless social events. Normally, I had always accompanied Angelo to those occasions, but sometimes when I was busy, the assistant would go in my place. Within their circle, that was perfectly normal. But Elise believed the assistant was trying to seduce Angelo and caused a scene right there at the banquet, embarrassing both the host family and Angelo. That was honestly far too petty and small-minded. After that incident, I also heard some rumors. Angelo disliked overly scheming women. After Elise framed me, he directly flew abroad for work and coldly ignored her for a very long time. During that period, Angelo's family didn't treat her kindly either. Elise was like a mute person eating bitter herbs. She could only swallow the suffering in silence. In short, the two of them kept entangling themselves together while their feelings gradually faded, no longer as intense as before. After dinner, Serafina and I went to a bar for drinks. Unexpectedly, we ran into Angelo there. He was sitting alone in a booth, drinking in silence. When he saw me, his eyes brightened slightly as he invited me over. Want a drink? Before I could even sit down, he had already opened a bottle and pushed it toward me. I shook my head in refusal. No thanks. You have a girlfriend now. I'm afraid Elise will come over and slap me. He fell silent for a moment before replying calmly. We already broke up. I simply dragged Serafina away. Just after sitting down, my phone buzzed. Angelo had transferred $2 million to me through Alipay. Serafina rolled her eyes speechlessly. What exactly is he trying to do? Doesn't he know that delayed affection is cheaper than dirt? I ignored it completely. Angelo came from a wealthy and powerful family. A few million meant nothing to him. Serafina and I drank to our heart's content before stumbling drunkenly back to the hotel and collapsing straight into bed. The next time I woke up, it was because my mother was frantically calling me. She shouted noisily over the phone. Oh my God, sweetheart, you finally answered. Angelo got into a car accident. Hurry up and get ready, Mom's waiting outside the hospital. Quickly! I froze. A car accident? Did karma really come that quickly? Chapter 14. In the freezing wind, I stood there shivering with a scarf wrapped tightly around me. Mom had rushed me non-stop, yet she herself was slower than anyone else. I had already been waiting outside for half an hour. After a while, my parents finally arrived. The trunk was stuffed full of gifts, and I stepped forward to carry 2 boxes myself. I'm freezing to death. Let's hurry up. All right. Let's go. What floor was it again? The 7th floor, I think. When we arrived at the hospital room, the only person there was Elise. Angelo had gone for additional examinations. The moment she saw me, her reddened eyes filled with rage as she lunged toward me. You bitch! This is all your fault. Why won't you stop haunting us? My mother immediately stepped in front of me and shoved her backward in one motion. Where did this lunatic come from? How dare you hit my daughter? Where's security? Security! Hurry up and drag her out of here. Then Mom planted her hands on her hips and started cursing loudly. Elise fell to the floor after being pushed and screamed angrily. If it weren't for you, Angelo would never have abandoned me. It's all because you seduced him. Why did you have to interfere in our relationship? I only found it ridiculous. Weren't you the one who abandoned him for money back then? How do you even have the nerve to yell at me now? And besides, you were the mistress. Mistress? My mother instantly caught the sensitive word and whipped her head around to stare at me. This is the woman Angelo could never forget. I nodded. The next second, Mom charged forward, grabbed Elise by the hair, and slapped her hard across the face. You shameless bitch, ruining my daughter and son-in-law's marriage. Damn it. I spent so many years scheming just to get them engaged. I was this close to becoming a rich lady, and right at the finish line you came and ruined everything for me. How dare you bully my daughter? How dare you destroy my rich lady dream? Mom cursed while hitting her repeatedly, and Elise's screams echoed through the room. Furiously, Elise roared back. You think Angelo is some kind of saint? He wanted both worlds. If he had truly been firm, how could I possibly have inserted myself between you two? Go blame him instead. Honestly, she wasn't wrong. After the breakup, I had investigated Elise. That was when I learned she was basically a professional mistress. After going abroad, she quickly infiltrated upper-class circles and became the kept woman of a wealthy man. Over the years, she constantly switched benefactors until she eventually provoked someone she absolutely shouldn't have. The legal wife caught her red-handed. The wife became enraged and even threatened to kill her. Terrified, Elise hurriedly fled back to the country. Not long after returning, she hooked up with Angelo again. Rita, let me tell you something. Angelo got into that car accident trying to protect me. He has me in his heart. He's never been able to let me go. You'll never win against me. Before she could finish speaking, Mom slapped her again. She might not be able to beat you, but I sure as hell can. I frowned as I watched the absurd scene unfold. Seeing that Mom had vented enough, I stepped forward to pull her back. That's enough. Mom, we're in a hospital. Reluctantly, she stood up and even sneaked in one last kick toward Elise. But the moment she regained her footing, her entire body suddenly froze. I followed her line of sight and saw Angelo sitting in a wheelchair, and behind him stood his family. No one knew when they had arrived, nor how much they had seen or heard. Mom quickly reacted and forced out an awkward smile. Oh my, I heard Angelo got into a car accident because of this woman, so I was just helping him vent his anger. As she spoke, she quietly hid behind me, looking extremely guilty. Chapter 15. Beating someone up on another person's territory really wasn't a good look. I originally thought Angelo would lash out because of it, but instead, he merely looked coldly at Elise. Get out. I don't want to see you again. Mom and I exchanged a glance. The butler immediately stepped forward and began dragging Elise outside. She desperately clung to Angelo's wheelchair, refusing to leave while crying hysterically. No, Angelo, you can't treat me like this. I loved you so much. But how could a professional mistress possibly know what real love was? Even if she did love something, it was probably Angelo's money. Angelo reached out and pried her fingers off the wheelchair one by one. Cold and unwavering, her cries gradually faded into the distance. Then Angelo looked at me. You should all leave first. I want to talk to Rita alone. The people in the hospital room all wore different expressions. But in the end, they still left the room for us. Angelo lowered his head, silently gathering his emotions. I roughly knew what he wanted to say and interrupted him first. You're not about to ask me to get back together with you, are you? After a long silence, he answered in a muffled voice. Rita. Being with Elise was only because I was angry with you. She and I stopped being suitable for each other a long time ago. Please, forgive me. I laughed out of sheer disbelief. Angry with me? You just got frustrated because things didn't go your way with me. So you used Elise as a substitute to soothe your ego. But then you realized she couldn't handle high society at all. Her head is empty. She only knows how to spend money and fight over men. That's why you suddenly remembered my good qualities. But if you and I were together again, then you'd only start remembering Elise's good qualities instead. What's near grows stale while what's distant smells sweet. Angelo, you don't truly love either me or Elise. The only person you love is yourself. Those words were cold and merciless. Angelo stared at his broken leg for a long moment before suddenly covering his face and breaking down in tears. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is all my fault. I know I was wrong. Rita, looking at his miserable appearance, the bitterness that had long lingered in my heart finally dispersed. I slowly let out a deep breath. Don't say things like this again in the future. It makes your love sound cheap and worthless. As I passed by him, he suddenly grabbed my hand. I stopped walking but didn't turn around, nor did I say anything. After a long stalemate, Angelo finally let go. Chapter 16. After that, Angelo seemed to have completely realized the extent of his mistakes. Whenever he had nothing else to do, he would transfer money to me. I never responded, nor did I reject it. But I never spent any of his money either. Meanwhile, my career flourished. After the new year, my factory was finally completed. And I even opened another live stream studio. On the day of the ribbon-cutting ceremony, I used the money I had recently earned to buy my mother a brand new Hermes bag worth $12 million. Mom was so delighted she could barely stop smiling. The very next day, she carried it outside just to show it off everywhere. When she returned home, her eyebrows were practically raised into the sky with pride. Rita, several rich wives in the circle couldn't even get their hands on this bag. Oh my, you've really brought glory to your mother. Some people even asked me about your marriage prospects, but I rejected them all. Honestly, I think you shouldn't get married anymore. Just focus on making money instead. Hee hee, you and your father can both work and support me. Ha ha ha. My future life is going to be amazing. I laughed together with her. Ever since I started my company, she had let go of her old obsession and stopped fixating on marrying into wealth. Maybe she was tired, or maybe she had simply gotten older and realized it all felt meaningless now. I jokingly teased her with a meme-like line. Mom, you won't have to chase after wealthy and powerful people anymore, because your golden ticket has finally arrived. Ha 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 ha. Mom burst into laughter from being amused by me. Suddenly, she lowered her voice mysteriously. Do you know about that Eli? Elise girl? Oh my, her life is miserable now. Today while chatting with those ladies, they told me Elise became someone's mistress again and even got pregnant. But she acted way too arrogant and provoked the legal wife. That woman was ruthless. She beat Elise so badly she miscarried. I heard she can't have children anymore. Mom clicked her tongue disdainfully. She totally deserved it. I smiled faintly but said nothing more, only glancing at the order numbers in the back-end system. Hey, what about Angelo? You really don't plan on forgiving him? No. I meaningfully glanced at the brand new bracelet on her wrist. Mom immediately covered it up in panic. Well, actually Angelo didn't ask me to persuade you or anything. He just said it was a gift. Under my stare, Mom finally stomped her foot helplessly. All right. I won't accept his gifts anymore in the future. You can buy things for me instead. I agreed immediately. Okay,